Chaos, it's gonna be get in the bin with you. That's what we usually hear. You have our pick and bans ready, so let's put up exactly. As let's put up our picks and bans up there. Again, 7-map pool, ban. Consulate is where we will play on. Chaos had that decision, Cafe or Consulate. Yeah, exactly my reaction, Jess. Why take Rogue to Consulate? Go for it.
Not even why take Rogue. Why did Chaos go, hey, this is my most banned map, and like I have a fierce opponent of Rogue. Why not when I get the decider, I don't pick Cafe, I just pick Consulate. What?
I mean, just look back at the game against BDS, right? Even 5 or 6 rounds in, they were being spawn peeked by Shoko and still being killed. They just didn't learn the lesson the other day, it seems, and they're here now for a second hiding on Consulate. Now, look, let's just acknowledge there has definitely been some thought process going into this for Chaos. I'm just questioning what that thought process was, because I think to us here on the desk, and no doubt many at home, it's a very questionable decision.
Definitely so. Well, with that questionable decision in mind, Des, how do you see this game going? Scorelines, give it to me.
Ooh, 7-2 to Rogue, I'm going for.
Oh boy, Jess.
Oh, I was going to say 7-3 to Rogue, so maybe Chaos.
Come on, join the edgy side. Come on, get with me, get
All
with
right,
me.
you know what? 7-1. 7-1 to Rogue. That's where I'm going now. You're pushing my buttons, big bro.
All right, fair enough. Let's see how that happens. Rogue were able to do that to Na'Vi in the last Playday. If you see it, it was 7-1 on Clubhouse. So definitely not too weird to look at. Social media. What do you guys think about this game? Go and vote at R6 Esports EU. 87% to Rogue, 2% on a draw, 11 for Chaos. I think that tells a decent bit of the story, and it's completely understandable. There's a reason why is that disparity is there. Let's just toss it to our casters. James, Gio, all yours.
Well, I'm still recovering from the previous matchup, and I'm sure some of you guys are too, but we have a cracker of a game coming up here. I know that a lot of people think maybe this is going to be a whitewash for Rogue. Gio, are you on that bandwagon?
Yeah, I mean, we all saw what Rogue did to Empire on Consulate, and in every other game, Empire have actually had, been doing fairly well. And then we also saw what BDS did to Chaos on Consulate, and Jess said it on the desk, right? She was like, why would you go to your most banned map when you had the decider? And this is the map that you have had the worst scoreline on so far in EU League. They went 1-7 against BDS. And I want to believe in Chaos. I really do. I think they have some great players. But I've just got a load of question marks over my head right now.
It is funny for Chaos. They never picked this map outside of when they played it just the other day against BDS and got smacked about. Rogue, though, we're not quite sure how they're doing with their roster changes. Bit of good, bit of bad. Still coming into form, but as you said, a strong game against Na'Vi next week will help them out. Let's jump into this operator ban. And Rogue's just going to get rid of the Capital. Really impactful operator on this map, taken away. So in particular, that yellow stairs hold will be made a little bit easier. You're just mainly worrying about grenades rather than the firebolts from the Capital. Also, Thatcher ban from Chaos, super common thing there. Having a look at last time they played Consulate, it was actually them who banned the Capital against BDS. Both of these teams just love banning Capital on Consulate. So I guess Chaos is just like, yeah, let's ban the Thatcher. It's cool these days. Everyone does it. That's the unusual one, though. Rogue banning out the Clash. Something we've seen come out from a few teams, and I don't know if that's going to be the most impactful ban. I've seen a couple teams use it to try and hold that yellow stairs, but I think in particular with Rogue banning out that Capital, which is one of the best counters to the Clash, I think it makes sense that they also get rid of the Clash just because they know that's something in Chaos's arsenal and they want to lock it out of there.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen these shield bans come out a little bit more frequently recently, but I'm looking right now at the fact that we're seeing the Doc and Jaeger. Obviously, you would expect to see the Jaeger, right? But we saw this happen when Rogue were playing against Na'Vi, and we saw what happened when, despite the Jaeger going down really early on that yellow stairs hold, Leon Gibbs was able to just stand in and keep control of that entire area of the map himself. So I'm going to have a lot of eyes. I know I only have 2, but all 2 of them are going to be watching those 2 players just to see if they can continue that history of being able to have so much control there. We did see a couple of 6 picks come out as well. I believe, I saw them out in my peripheral vision. I think the Maestro was one of them, if I am not mistaken.
Didn't quite catch that personally, but
no.
yeah, I didn't quite catch it, but oh well.
Well, there were a couple of 6 picks. Also interesting that the gridlock is here, especially as Nomad is also available. You know, a lot of teams like to play Nomad. If she's available on this map, you can kind of prevent those runouts, as well as being able to do things like prevent flanks on those stairwells. So the fact that they've opted to not go for her is an interesting choice.
Yeah, they've decided to pick that gridlock instead, and a bit less common, to be honest, and it doesn't really put a hard stop to those defenders running out, but it can make it difficult if you throw them in the choke point, whether that's yellow stairs, or whether you're throwing them in meeting, as we've seen before from the A windows. But let's check out how Chaos can do this. What is this suppressor meta right now? Vito's been watching too much APAC, it seems. But from Rogue's side, let's have a look at this. Yellow stairs hold. Once again, it's Corey with an absolute ton of ADSs there. That won't save him from a bullet, I guess. And there, Red Groove to get that nice early pick. Very good stuff. But Leon won't be able to hold by himself for too much longer, you'd think. But he's going to commit to playing in private as long as he can, trying to keep contesting here onto Shate.
Well, the tracks just got thrown in. Oh, no, they didn't. My bad. It wasn't them that got thrown in. But regardless, he's going to be able to stim himself up despite taking some of that damage. And so we're not going to see an exact recreation of what happened before, where he could hold the top of the stairs. Ooh, Karjeka. That looked painful. I don't know if he's even going to get to be able to be picked on up.
No! Fido!
This is brutal.
What is that, Fido?
I mean, he's going to be punished for it regardless, but, you know, whatever floats your boat, I guess. You managed to get the down onto Karjeka, but he got picked straight back up as well. And Renewals is also going to be taken down by that revived Karjeka. Constant backwards and forwards, though, here, Dev. Red Groove, he's going to be getting the next kill.
That's a second on the round, but everyone seems to be dying around yellow stairs. Chaos cleared it with only a minute. And Rogue is like, yeah, no, you don't get that. We want to retake it. We want to retake private. And Leon's also found one too, putting Rogue here in the numbers advantage. Those magnets keep chewing up those nades, but finally Shate to punish Leon for his off angle. Now Rips and Aces to hold, but of course Chaos, they're the ones who have to take the initiative here, and they're low on util. No smokes left or gridlock track stingers for Shate. No nades left for Red Groove either.
Well, they know where their opponents are situated, and they've got just about half a minute remaining. So there's still some time for them to move in, place down that diffuser, but of course they actually have to get these shots first, and it looks like Shate's going to be able to get one, but not before Aces can get Red Groove. That leaves just Shate remaining, but straight into the door frame he goes as he's finished off there by Aces. But I have to say, Chaos did look, you said it there, they looked like they had a relatively swift control take of that stairs area, and I think the fact that they invested so much utility in clearing out the bathroom to stop Leon from being able to hold it there meant that some of the positioning of Rogue was influenced, and suddenly there was a lot more of this backwards and forwards when it came down to the actual gunfights.
Yeah, I guess you mentioned the gridlock versus the Nomad earlier tonight, and if there was an air jab on that public bathroom, or private bathroom door from Split, then we wouldn't have been able to see Rogue retake that. So maybe that would have worked out better for Chaos, but of course, that's just theory crafting. What we do know is that Chaos had such an effective clear on yellow stairs in private. In 1 minute 10, they'd taken out one player and scared off the second, but they'll have to rethink their attack and what went wrong later, because for now they need to focus on this garage attack. I think it's safe to assume that it'll probably be garage, and well, on Consulate, you have to assume that it's going to be garage every round where you don't know it's going to be, and because garage is basically the only bomb site where you need to bring a hard breach, or it's highly advised you need to bring a hard breach to breach open the garage walls, and that's Red Groove once again on the Maverick. Fortunately, Maverick is such a versatile operator. Great fragger, plus got those nades. But for Rogue, they're going to reinforce up in private and public. Oh my goodness, I always get the two public and private bathrooms mixed up. Public is the big one, private is the small one. It makes sense.
I just see it as like, you know, you've got to be important to actually get up to the top floor. So, you know, if you're just just anyone, then you can stay on the middle floor, but you're not cool enough to get up to the top just yet. Karjeka having a look out of the bathroom window to see if he can get his sights on anyone, but so far going to be nothing. And you'll notice both he and Rips are situated up here on the top floor, so they'll be able to carry out that roam. And that is exactly what Chaos are going to be looking for as they begin to drone out. There you go. They found that Jaeger straight away, and that's going to cause him to drop on down.
And there was no one playing outside the piano windows to cut off that rotation, which is something we've seen quite effective from other teams in the past. In particular, the Empire Virtus Pro match comes to mind. But we'll see Rogue now. They do have this hacked drone from Karzeka. Player contesting from Yellow Stairs. It is Aces. The drone taken out, but it was worth it as Leon was allowed to get that C4 injure, trying to take down Karzeka finally. It's the Mozzie. I don't quite know where that went down, to be honest, but Leon is keen to find more here roaming. He is a 1-speed though, so has to be careful not to overextend as he's very slow to rotate back, which is exactly what Aces does, all the way down from Yellow Stairs, back onto the objective alongside Corey, whereas we rely on Rips and Leon to hold around Lobby and Piano.
And you can see Chaos have started to move in here on the west side of the map, opening up the floor. That's why Rips is trying to see what angles he can hold, but actually Leon's going to be going down and Rips joining him as well. So pretty successful clear there of that first floor, and that gives Chaos the opportunity to begin to move on down. Not too far away now before they can move down into the garage. Corey does get his revenge there on Crying, but there's still only 2 members of Rogue remaining, and 1 minute left here for Chaos to begin to move down. They've cleared out the rest of the building here, so all they have to do is begin to enter in here to the basement, and they do have this man advantage. They could just begin to overwhelm Rogue.
That's the most important thing here for Chaos, that they don't let the time slip too much because they have that numbers advantage. Goal here should be Red Groove. Open up that garage wall, get it breached, and then just start to force your way in. That mirror window will make things a bit more difficult. But I think the idea here for Chaos, with 35 seconds left, as soon as this wall is breached, they should be going for the execute. Because even if the plank gets denied, it can be retaken by Chaos if they can just refrag it out to the remaining players. 25 seconds left, completely breached now, but they'll be going straight into that mirror window, which is being watched there by the player in security. That is Aces trying to peek. There is the Legion. Aces trying to desperately find something to help his team out. If he can deny this plan, it is huge, but not going to happen there. Renewal.
Oh, no.
Okay, sorry, Shate, but that's my bad. All on Corey now, but he's shut down before he can deny that plant. And yeah, Vita's pretty happy about that one. Chaos do manage to steal away that round.
Rogue were really facing an uphill battle by the end there. We did see Aces place his goo mines at the bottom of Spiral, and of course that's going to alert you if any of those flanking members of Chaos were to come down from that direction. But because you had to have one eye through the mirror window to be sure who's coming in through garage, you also have to be aware of what's happening behind you, and that means your attention's going to be split either way. And of course, Yellow Stairs in that case were left completely wide open, and it really made the positioning options there for Rogue incredibly limited. But now we're seeing things change up, going over to Lobby, so playing here on the first floor, and instead of bringing that mirror, we're going to see Rogue bring the Rook.
Protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
It does make me wonder whether we're going to see this long vertical angle from Corey once again, all the way from downstairs in the basement in the cafeteria. Yep, indeed we will. So Corey is going to throw an impact grenade onto the floor of meeting, and yeah, where Easy's looking right now, there will be an angle all the way from in the basement, underneath the hatch, through the hatch. If we go up to the next floor, through the hatch, and then up to the next floor, through the hole in the floor that was made with the impact grenade in meeting, and then onto the meeting balcony rappel. If players rappel upside down, we can see it later. To be honest, last time Rogue did that, it wasn't actually effective, but if Chaos try to leverage a position on that rappel of the meeting balcony, then it might come into play, especially as Corey has the ACOG, which is perfect for contesting long engagements like that. I like that from Karzeka, though, to chuck a magnet outside on the balcony. It means that if the attackers try to put an air jab down on those windows, as is common, it'll get caught out by the magnet. But, of course, no Nomad picks. Red Groove takes a lot of damage there from the attempted spawn peek from Leon. No punishment there for the Jaeger player.
Very early on there, and of course you don't want to be losing your Hibana, least of all because she holds 3 of those key flashes, and you want to be able to burn out the utility that's gonna be here from the Jaeger and the Wamai, as of course neither of them are banned out in this series. Now we're just starting to see, there's that angle being held there by Corey that we spoke about before. Is he going to be able to get anything from it? Oh, very close. It looked like he was going to, and now Vito's going to be incredibly aware that that's exactly where the Rook is positioned. He's going to have to play a little bit more reserved to be sure to not get caught out. Not quite going to be able to hit that shot, and there's a C4. But he's able to take most of the brunt of it, but without going down.
Chaos want to dislodge this position that Aces is playing in meeting. Oh no, Aces, how is he allowed to get away with that? He surely knows that he got the injure there, but didn't have the time with the SMG-11 to reload and secure the kill. Renewals will likely be picked up, but Chaos have to be extra cautious here. And what is that? A peek in from Aces once again. Man is doing more than enough here in this position and staying alive as long as possible. Both of those players pushing up through Printer are very lit. He might be able to find it, but no, he backs on out after getting flashed up, decides it's better to just escape from his life. No one from Chaos rather, to cut him off as he drops the hatch, but Shate does find one. That's Karzeka the Wamai. So at least some progress here. They get something out of this, is Chaos. Now droning up ahead. They don't have full control of top floor because Aces decide to rotate up yellow stairs. The man cannot be contained. And Leon is still up here too. So Chaos may think they have control of meeting, but still Rogue are fighting for every inch of this top floor.
With less than a minute remaining, it's a little bit concerning that you haven't been able to clear everything out. And the fact that Vito had to spend so much time there on the balcony without really achieving much other than getting rid of maybe one ADS is part of that problem. Renewals, he's going to be taken down there by Corey. And now we're starting to see this drop down here from Red Groove. There are a couple more kills that have come out, so that's going to even things up, but Leon gets turning things around there on Shate. Just 2 members remaining of Chaos here. And they've got to crouch and creep slowly towards the site. Just 16 seconds remaining, and there is still a player there in bathroom. Leon, another kill. They mentioned on the analyst desk how he had to start picking up this series, and it looks like he might be doing just that. And there's that last shot onto Cry, and it's going to be Rips finishing things off, and Rogue successfully defend lobby.
So many offsite kills there for Rogue, or for both teams, to be honest. It was that initial engagement. Ace has got that cheeky headshot onto Vito. Shade found one elsewhere. And it was like one kill, no refrags. It was also very separate for both the teams. Overall, I really like Rogue's delay on that top floor. Got to credit Aces in particular holding meeting. The fact that he got that kill, got an injure, delayed tons of time, dropped back with his life. And of course, playing the mute means there's some util there. So Shate and the rest of Chaos struggle a little bit to clear that top floor with their drones. And then, of course, after he dropped down, he just rotates back up yellow. And there was no punishment at all from Chaos for so many of these rotations that the Roamers are making. We saw it in the earlier rounds where the player dropped down the CEO hatch into piano, and there was no one outside the piano windows to cut that off. I think Rogue being allowed to get away with a little bit too much freedom here on their defensive side.
Well, it's interesting here that we are seeing Chaos switch over to having that Yana. She's going to experience relative impunity given that there isn't a mute that's being brought out by Rogue, so there's not really that problem that you have to worry about, and that should mean that Chaos have the opportunity to get a little bit of extra intel. Well, actually, not anymore. Vito, unfortunately, no longer going to be a part of this side of the game, so there's going to be that call for a rehost.
5 seconds to go.
Not good.
Likely to get approved here. There we go. So we can just theory craft about what's going to happen in this round once Vito gets back in. We're talking about the console meeting office once again. I feel like, Gio, we may as well talk a little bit about what happened last time that Rogue defended this bomb site, which they did win. Although I got to say, Chaos were off to a pretty early advantage once they cleared yellow and private bathroom with a 1 minute and 10. Like, that is so good.
Yeah.
It's in just over a minute and you've already have that control. That's usually a really good sign. You usually push the players up yellow and use that control to force down a plant and CEO. But the ability from Rogue, in particular Leon, to retake into private and keep that pressure on meant that Chaos just weren't able to execute that next step in their plan.
Yeah, and I think also, you know, the fact I mentioned just then the Yana, that was a 6-pick off of the gridlock, which was one of these key things that they used to try and limit the amount of positioning options that Rogue have for themselves and clear out those spaces on the map. So, of course, she also carries in smokes, which they use to help with that. And I mean, Yana has frags, right? So a little bit more destruction available to you from that perspective. But the point is, because they don't have the exact same composition coming into this round, are they going to be able to do things exactly the same as they did before, or will they be going for something a little bit different? I think if they can get some value out of things like those frag grenades, then that could maybe even get some kind of earlier kills. I mean, you got to remember that there were people like Karjeka who ended up going down, but he got, res. He got picked back up again by his teammates. If you can use the Yana in that situation to ensure those early kills, you could be seeing an even quicker clean out of that area of the map and not having to worry about, potential help from the teammates in Rogue.
Yeah, one of the tough things with Yana on Consulate, in particular, the top floor console meeting office, is you're trying to use an operator that can't activate the ability while repelling. And most of the ways to get into this bomb site, to get onto the top floor, are via repelling. And really, you're thinking of Yana and you're like, okay, well, the only ways we can really use it effectively is either you push up yellow stairs or Visa stairs or spiral, all of which not super ideal. Maybe yellow is the one that's most viable. If you're going for a yellow clear, you have your Yana outside, using the Gemini from there. The other option is probably if you're doing an admin side take, because you can actually get in the building and stand somewhere and then use your Yana to get info. But either way, I don't see it necessarily being the best bang for buck out of an operator. Having the frags is always nice, though, especially to clear out players like Corey. Now, in particular, Corey was that one playing yellow stairs last round, usually a position so difficult to flush out, especially with Capital banned out, as was done by Rogue. So you'd think that Rogue are trying to emphasize that position as much as possible, but Corey was taken out just peeking a little bit over aggressively, and that's not something that's likely to happen again here. So I've got to say, I'm actually going to favor Rogue in this next round. But they did manage to win this on the previous time, but I think it's going to be even less likely that Chaos will get that early ground that they did last time.
Yeah, I mean, it's really key, the fact that the reason Rogue were able to win it out last time is because of those kind of late round sort of gunfights that ended up happening. So it wasn't so much because Chaos didn't do well on their clearing. It was because of something that happened later. And now what you're saying is that it might be harder to clear. And I also think something that Rogue have been particularly astute at doing is being able to adapt to things that happened before. So not only is there that difference in what it is that Chaos are going to be bringing for their attack, but Rogue are also going to be able to look at it and say, okay, here's what we did. Oh, here's what went wrong before. How are we going to be able to hold on to this more strong? And obviously, it would be great to see someone like Corey on the Jaeger not go down so early. Maybe they can be a bit more prepared for that potential situation. And then they've kind of got more power on their side from that perspective as well.
Yeah, I feel like Rogue's probably going to be favored going into this one, but we'll have to wait and see. I want to ask you now, Gio, like we came into this game thinking Rogue is definitely favored. And while they did, I mean, we've seen good things from Chaos here, right? Like that first round we've talked about quite a lot on that console attack. Chaos got the early advantage. The second round in, Chaos destroyed Rogue on the roam clear and had what was almost a flawless round, attacking Garage. Lobby press, again, a bit of a struggle for Chaos. A lot of the Rogue players getting away with things that maybe they shouldn't. Does this maybe change our perception at all? Do you think that Rogue is going to destroy Chaos for the rest of this round or the rest of the game? Because, I don't know, I feel like we've seen some decent things from Chaos here.
Oh, we totally have. And we absolutely have to give credit to that. They look a lot more put together than they did, when we saw them play against Virtus Pro on Cafe Dostoevsky, which, even though it wasn't a particularly wide scoreline, it was a 5-7 to, or a 7-5 to Virtus Pro, a 5-7 to Chaos. It wasn't necessarily the neatest and cleanest game, and I think Chaos do look more put together here. The question is just about whether Rogue in those late round situations have the advantage, because so far that has kind of been what it looks like. And it's all well and good to have like a really, really clean roam clear, be able to make your way into the site well. But if you can't hold your own in the last bit when it really matters, that's when you're going to struggle, because you kind of got to live your way through those moments.
Yeah, well, as you can see, we're back in the game finally, and obviously we're going back up again to console and meeting. Once again, a very similar strategy here adopted by Rogue. Same operator picks as the last time they picked this bomb site. with Leon playing the Dock in conjunction with Corey on the Jaeger to hold Yellow Stairs and Private, which is always a point of contention here on this top floor, unless if the attackers go for an admin push. Now, I alluded to the fact that maybe Chaos will elect to do that, bring in a Yana, probably an operator that's a bit more effective for an admin push rather than a yellow push, but we'll have to wait and see. Where are Chaos's drones currently? Looks like Renewals has one in lobby. Crine has one in piano. Red Groove one outside. I like that. Red Groove. So you'll notice the fraggers, players like Crine and Renewals, have their drones inside the building so that they can be pre-placed and flicked onto later, whereas some of the players that are likely to be doing more droning during the round, like your support players like Red Groove, have their drones outside the building so that they stay alive. Once again, Leon going for a spawn peek and gets punished for it. See you later, mate. And that is already an early man advantage for Chaos.
Oh no, and he was one of those key players we talk about on this site in particular, especially on that dock. Losing him could actually start turning the fates here. Obviously, it's a little bit early to say, but that was certainly a worthwhile opening pick. And you can just see Renewals throwing in a lot of these flashes are his teammates and getting ready to go in with the frag grenade. Question is it going to be able to get Corey? There is still those ADSs. And so far, he's not going to be facing the true heft of them. In goes a magnet as well, so he's got that extra protection. But he, of course, doesn't have that dog behind him to be able to stim him up should anything happen to him. Ooh! Yep, okay, here we go. He goes straight onto the ground as he completely underestimates the fact that Shate is waiting there on the rappel, and the frag grenade will finish things off.
Pretty textbook stuff for Chaos, and of course it's very difficult for Corey to play in that corner when Leon, his teammate who's meant to be helping him, got spawn peaked. So I theorized that maybe Rogue would actually do a better job holding that, but Leon dying early was much more impactful than just losing a player. It was losing the support that Corey needed to stay alive in that position. So Rogue gonna have to go back to the drawing board for that one, but it's still not impossible. Remember that previously Chaos has maintained early man advantages for Rogue to only come back. And Aces has some good information gathering with that Evil Eye. No doubt Chaos has the utility to clear it, in particular the nades from Yana, which I don't believe have been used. Renewals might still have one left as well, and of course Fido with the lifeline. There you go. In fact, there is one grenade left, one opportunity to take out that Evil Eye, and that is from Shate. Wow, nice shot there from Shate. He's not in position to take out that Evil Eye, but he has a very strong position for cutting off Karzeka, who's put under the pump right now. Takes out Shate. Aces to pile on as well. Now Red Groove forcing down this plant. Is there an opportunity to deny? Doesn't seem to be. Now it's a 2 versus 3 on the retake here. Very difficult position for these two Rogue players.
Well, I was going to say they're going to have to move forward, but Ace isn't even going to have the opportunity as Red Groove guns him down. That leaves just Karzeka remaining. He's been a particularly standout player here for this squad, but is he going to be able to take the 1 versus 3? Just waiting, trying to get those shots in, but he's going on the information being provided by the rest of his team. We see those pings there appearing. He's got 16 seconds remaining, and it takes 7, but he's not even going to get there. Red Groove finishes things off once again. And actually, we said maybe Rogue would have the advantage on this round, but Chaos proved us wrong.
Yeah, very much so. I think a lot of people underestimating Chaos here, and to be fair, like part of that is Rogue getting a bit over aggressive. I think maybe not respecting Chaos well enough, because I know I hopped on about it, and I'm not maybe the most avid champion of spawn peaks. Like, I don't love them, but they have their place in this game. But Leon dying like that was huge for Chaos because it gave them an opportunity, and because there was no one else from Rogue that could really fulfill his role and position of supporting Corey, it made it very difficult for Corey to stay alive. And then in a 5v3 for Chaos, like, they just have to kind of do the normal things, go through the motions, and it should be fairly simple for them to close out that round. And indeed it was so. There was no possibility for Rogue to deny that plant or get back into it in the post plant. So we tick on over to a 2-2 scoreline. The Chaos have evened things up and now going into an attack of the most favored bomb site their way. Recalling that previously Rogue tried to roam, Chaos punished it, and it was a 5 versus 2 with 1 minute and 20 left for Chaos to work with. Now, surely Rogue has to step it up here.
Yeah, they're going to have to be a little bit more vigilant about how they go about this roam should they decide to repeat it. Obviously, they're changing a couple of things up about the defense. This time, choosing not to bring the mirror, and they're going to take a pulse. So that leads me to believe that they want to have a bit more of this presence downstairs where they can provide that intel to the rest of the team and be able to have a better idea of where those players clearing from the top down are going to be. Because, as you say, one of the big problems that Rogue faced was that it got to the point where there were only 2 of them left and 4 players of Chaos on the attack, and suddenly their attention was going to be split. Once that garage door got opened and the plant was attempting to be made, it didn't actually end up getting done. Suddenly you're in a situation where it's very, very hard to go against all of those players who are coming down from different directions. It looks like Chaos are getting ready here to make their way in through Piano, and straight away the floor is going to begin to be opened here by Renewals. Going to be aware that there are members of Rogue and other parts of the map who will suddenly be getting this intel of where the players of Chaos are, and so they're all just looking out to be sure to protect one another should that become a problem. Oh, Aces, actually, he's taking a lot of damage.
They missed C4 though. I'm not sure where that engagement happened with Aces, but the C4 attempted to take out the Sledge of Renewals, opening up the Antechamber and Piano floor. Might I add, in really, really good timing. Like, there is no roam this time around. You can see that Chaos is still cautious for it. Well, there is a roam, and Aces upstairs managed to flank up Visa, but we did see Shate on a drone up there, so he may well catch him out. Really, really good time management, as I was saying, from the attack, however, and this flank being watched by Shate. It's so difficult here for Aces to make anything happen. Karzeka, though, to support, and in just a second, Shate is no doubt going to find this kill. Like, surely there's nothing here that Aces can do to take out this Gridlock.
He had a really fantastic round previously on the console meeting. This is an interesting placement here from Karzeka, and it means that he can actually tell his team that there's just a droning member. Oh no! Aces! He came out because he thought it could be an easy kill. Wasn't actually able to see Vito, and things got turned around on him. That was such an unnecessary death there. He was low health anyway, so there was only so much he could last. Karzeka here, you can see him trying to avoid those bullets coming in from Shate as he shoots on through the wall. That's going to force him to make a rotation. But really, really such a shame there for Rogue to have lost Aces like that.
But wait a second, there's only 30 seconds left. Chaos now in a position where they should really be getting ready for their execute, and with time slipping away from them, Redgroove needs to plant. Vino is going to go aggressive, but there's a player on the yellow stairs to cover. Redgroove can't plant there with the gas. Karzeka's still on a flank, but we're really focusing now on Redgroove, trying to get that plant down. Is there coverage? Crying to help out, but Corey to deny that plant. Vito is going huge as well, but the plant needs to go down. It's all on Rips from Rogue. He can clutch this very much so for his team. The track sting is going to make things a bit more difficult. It got close there, but Chaos do lock it out. My goodness, that was a heart scare.
And now suddenly Chaos are in the lead, taking 3 rounds for themselves. And I was thinking the same thing as you. Time is starting to run out and they're really taking their time. But as soon as we saw that, that's when we saw this push be made in from them. And suddenly these members of Rogue who weren't expecting shots in from the angles that they were, left Rips all on his own. Those gridlock track stingers, great placement of them. We mentioned how it's typically more common to see a nomad on this map rather than a gridlock, but I will absolutely commend the way that that was used. It made it basically impossible for Rips to deal with the situation. And now Rogue are facing this team who so far have been sat at the bottom of the standings here in the EUL. And Rogue might have to consider that they're going to be dethroned.
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
I think people are underrating Chaos a little bit. Like, yeah, they have been pretty poor so far this season in EUL, and yes, they came 7th in the Pro League last season, but we've seen some pretty strong performances from them in the past, and I would point out that last time these teams played against each other, it was in the Pro League, and Rogue did win 7-3, so quite decisive, sure, but you know, the week prior, Chaos almost beat Empire, and a couple weeks prior to that, they beat G2. So Chaos are totally a high-level team that can win these games. They've had interior roster upgrade with Krine, who maybe hasn't had his full potential demonstrated yet, but he's still been doing pretty well, fulfilling his role, maybe not exemplarily, but at least doing his job. And Rogue here, they're still definitely finding their feet with these roster changes.
I think think it's definitely a good demonstration of the fact that Chaos certainly aren't a team that you should be writing off. Evidently, they've had some issues with coordination coming into the EU League so far, but it's still early days. We're only in Playday 4, and it's really nice to see them taking such a challenge to a team that have had some pretty good Playdays in the recent past. Shate taking some shots in there through the bathroom. Now, he's obviously been impressing so far, and I'm excited to see what he can bring in this round. But so far, Chaos, they were able to take the last time that they came to this site with a plant, nonetheless, but not the first time they came to this site.
You'll notice from Rogue, there's been a complete change in operator and role choices for each team. Well, sorry, for their team, despite having the exact same operator lineup, except for that Pulse, which previously was a Wamai, but almost everyone is playing a different operator to what they were last time. So a bit of a musical chairs between the players, maybe saying, Karzeka, look, instead of let's doing a heavy hold in yellow stairs and private, let's maybe just play the shield upstairs at long desk. And Karzeka can play that with the dock long angle. Also, Leon Gids can have that long angle through the opened wall. You'll notice in the middle of connector into CEO rather than the sides, which is more common. It enables that long angle, but the angle works both ways. Leon is shut down, but Karzeka is a power player here in this position on this shield. He needs to start contesting these windows and punishing Chaos for overpeaking, but Chaos might not bite.
Down go those tracks as Shate starts to move on in, and actually Redgroove's going to take the opportunity to begin to make the plant. Rogue do get a kill as Cryan goes down, and that placement of the diffuser is going to be changed. C4 kill followed up by one from Aces, and suddenly only Shate is remaining here on the side of Chaos. Got to start sneaking up here on the yellow stairs, hoping he doesn't run into anyone, but we've seen Karzeka giving himself a little bit of overheal, and there's other members left. He brings Aces down. All right, that means he's got 3 members left. Trying to shoot in through the wall, doesn't quite get what he's looking for, and 20 seconds remaining. Not going to be able to get the pulse just yet. He's trying to hold onto these angles desperately, but the intel's going to be coming out. Rogue knew exactly where he was. Karzeka finishes things off, and that'll be a round to Rogue.
That's absolutely beautiful. Rogue made some changes, and look, it might not have started pretty where Leon got his head taken off in meeting, trying to contest on the CEO windows, but after that, the other adaptations worked perfectly, and I know that Aces just ran around on Jaeger and got 3 kills, like, sure, unfortunately we didn't really see them that well, so difficult to analyze into that, but I want to point out the single operator that was actually changed in that operator lineup from Rogue, and that was the Pulse over from the Wamai, and that denied the plant, got that C4 kill onto CEO. It was a bit too much for Chaos to contain on that attack. I really like those changes from Rogue between rounds, and hopefully that continues to demonstrate that Rogue are the team we have been hyping up this season.
Well, you'll notice that now we switch at the half. Rogue have decided they're going to be bringing an Amaru, and this is actually not the first time they've done this. They brought Amaru a couple of times so far. I believe 6 of their attacking rounds that we've seen so far in the EU League, they've opted to bring the Amaru, and it's gone fairly well for them. It, of course, facilitates that aggression that they can play with, as well with the G8 that everyone loves to lord over and talk about how it's one of the best guns in the game. And obviously, if you can make it all the way into the building, then that's always a good start. And of course, when you look on the other side of things, you have the Pulse being brought out from Shate on Chaos as well. And as well with the Mozzie, means that you do have that double C4 available to you. So as Rogues start to come down vertically, that's something that they're going to have to be pretty careful for, as we've seen the destruction that they can cause.
Yeah, notably Ace is actually playing the Amaru instead of Corey, which is the player who played the Amaru mostly in Rogue's previous game, but also Corey on the Nomad, an operator which Chaos just weren't interested in bringing, despite how good she is on this map at preventing that aggression. Love this from Renewals, roaming top floor. He knows he's not going to get contest because he didn't hear the rappel, so he's happy to just freely shoot those drones. Also for Rogue, really good... Oh, you all right there, Vito? Oh, you all right there, Aces? Finally gets around the corner, but really good time management here for Rips, opening up that wall nice and early. Where was that Nomad air jab? What? What? Where was that? I didn't see anyone get air jabbed, but I just had 2 air jabs go off. I am bewildered. Bewildered.
Yeah, no, I didn't see them either, so
there's no Wamai, so it's not like they got like caught in a magnet, and that's all 3 air jabs, if I'm not wrong, that have been detonated now. All 3 have definitely been deployed, as you can see from the overlay. But nonetheless, I digress. Chaos did have Aroma. Previously, it was Renewals, and he is, in fact, still in the cubby in the top floor, completely caught off guard. And Leon finally is on the giving end of those opening kills rather than the receiving.
Ooh, ouch. Well, there's going to be another one as Vito goes down there in Piano. That's a great start there from Leon. Actually going to get a third. Beautiful work being done by here with the man with the G36C. He could just... Oh, there we go. All right.
What?
Flawless round for Rogue. And I feel like this is, you know, the perfect time for us to bring out the get in the bin. He loves to throw about, but okay, yeah, I mean, I guess if you've got a pretty good Ashe on your team, just let her do all the work. Easy.
Wow. It's funny because I was kind of being a bit critical of Leon. I think rightly so in the first half. Got a bit aggressive. He was the first pick in 2 of those rounds. And then he's like, look, Dev, I don't really care what you have to say. I'm going to pick Ashe. I'm going to go nuts. And you're just going to have to deal with that. We're having a rehost, of course, guys. And hello, it's back to us again. But hey, I mean, that's a pretty good sign, right, for Rogue. They maybe struggled a bit on their defensive side, only winning 3 rounds, which it's not terrible, but it's not great, especially since we're talking about Rogue being the drastically favored team here. And we were expecting like what Jess called a 7-1. I can't remember what did Des say. 7-2,
I think it was a 7-2. Yeah. Because Des was trying to convince Jess to go along with his, and she didn't want to concede to that, so she decided to take it further the other way, I guess. But yeah, no, I mean there was a very impressive round to watch because obviously it all seemed to happen so quickly. It was all in a blur. They got the garage door open very quickly, and then Leon just killed everyone, I guess, you know, like you can always go and do that. And the questionable thing was the fact that Chaos just didn't seem to know where these players were. I mean, the fact that we saw Renewals get caught out as the Mozzie just running in the opposite direction without even thinking that there may be an angle being held on him from Yellow Stairs, it sort of makes you wonder, like, you know, why didn't you think of that? That it would make sense, right? That you're going to have one of these players, especially we saw such a huge flank be made by Leon from around outside the building. And there just wasn't that information available there to Chaos. And then they just kept sending players straight into the end of the barrel of the gun that Leon was holding. Yeah, here we go. Good night.
Really well played by Leon. Clearly there was no information on him sneaking up Yellow Stairs, but the Maestro was at least holding the angle, but Leon won that gunfight, snapping onto the head there. And I liked it after he got those 2 kills, in particular after he killed the Smoke here, who was trying to refrag. Like, you can't blame Red Groove for that. He was doing his best. As soon as that happened, Leon's like, look, boys, I'm taking this one. And he goes straight for it. Bit of a kill steal there at the end, I think, from one of his teammates. But overall, I want to point out that, look, Chaos, they had no information on Leon for that first kill. After that, they had information, and both of the players that died next to Leon were attempting to refrag, and Leon was just better. But that first player in particular, like you mentioned, the Mozzie, should have been a bit more aware. You've got a Mozzie and a Pulse. Both are attempting to info gather, but clearly there was no information on that push from a fairly normal position. So I'm thinking maybe a Legion is the play here, maybe something a bit different here, because the roam game, it's very loose for Chaos. It doesn't seem to be very well supported, in contrast to Rogue's roam game, which was very much like, we are playing in this position, we have reinforcements, we have setup, we have info gathering, you guys can come and push us, but we will be here to stand our ground. We're not trying to hide here, we're just trying to hold well. And I think that's a bit of a contrast to what we saw from Chaos.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you can't keep up with securing the information of where the attackers are coming in from, and you also are going to have to figure out how to slow down that more aggressive push, then something like a Legion would make a decent amount of sense, right? Because you know, you'll hear where those goo mines are, it'll slow down, it'll give you more of an opportunity to actually get in those shots yourself, and it will just fill in those gaps that maybe you were missing before. But I mean, it looked like, assuming once this rehost is done, they're going to be going to the site that they did just pick out for themselves. It looked like they were going to be heading to Archives Tellers, which would be, or Tellers Archives is, I suppose, more commonly known, which would be the first time that we've seen it today. And I'm kind of interested to see what it is that Chaos have up their sleeves for that, because I don't believe it's a site that we've seen from them.
No, in fact, typically, like Teller's Archives is picked as a bit of a surprise site. Like it was tried to be forced into the meta a few seasons ago, but only a few specific teams adopted it. Those teams that like to kind of do different things, teams like G2 and Fnatic, not so much like your everyday kind of team. But the problem with that, what? I feel like that's fair to say.
Your everyday team, just like we're just talking about the crazy ones.
Yeah, there are teams out there that like to be, edgelords,
wild,
and those are the ones that I like to watch out for. But anyway, bringing things back in for a minute, Teller's Archives, usually you pick this with the hope that the attacking team isn't expecting you to go to this bomb site, right? Because you never have to if you can go through the other three and just cycle on through. Problem is now, with the stream being caught up, Chaos will be able to see that was the bomb site that was picked if they do that. So element of surprise kind of gone now with the rehost, and we know how Chaos, they had some good attacks previously. I don't know if Rogue can really figure this out, if that'll help them, if they know that Chaos is going to that bomb site. Difficult to call. But hey, one thing I do want to see is I want to see Amaru, and I want to see Amaru have an impact because of her Gyro hook. That's what I really want to see.
Yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun. I mean, I was wondering if maybe Chaos on the defense would bring something like a Mirror, since she's not banned in this round, because we're now in the era of some
no Mirror bans,
flavorsome and spicy bands where you're actually seeing a decent amount of variety in them, and that means Mirror has been available for a lot of the games that we've seen so far in the league. So Mirror isn't, of course, banned here, so maybe having her placed down in the basement might be able to give Chaos the sort of advantage they require to prevent the kind of push that we did just see from Rogue. And of course, it's a different site, so it's a different type of push in and of itself, but nonetheless, I'm wondering if that's something that they'll consider bringing. Now that we're back into the game, we will find out for ourselves, Dev.
Certainly will. Where's Chaos going to go? What's Chaos going to do? They're going to go to Tellers. They are apparently the edgelords that we deserve.
But no Mirror.
No Mirror. Well, that's okay. Can't ask for everything. But operator picks that maybe a bit unusual is the castle. Not super duper common here, even on Tellers here. Oh yes, that's what you like to see. Crine jumping on the Oryx. Who needs to counter projectiles? We don't need a Jaeger. We've got someone who can jump up hatches. And hey, on a bomb site that's been tried to be explored a little bit, but not as common as the others. That's exactly where I want to see some innovative strategies. And the Oryx here, great operator for jumping up hatches in particular. And damn, there's so many hatches on this ground floor that go into the basement. You've got 3 in Visa, one of which is reinforced, one of which is pre-open in the on the northeast corner of Visa. You've also got the lobby hatch, you've got the elevator hatch, and then of course if you want to jump up to the top floor as well, you've got the admin hatch. Probably not going to do that from Visa, but you've also got this hatch here in meeting from lobby, and then the final hatch, nice one, admin hatch reinforced, good stuff there, like that. And the final hatch, thank you so much, Easy, is here in the cubby of CEO down from Piano. I want to point out here some of the pre-placed drones from Rogue, though. That's a really nice one from Leon to get some good info in the top floor at Split. Crine's going to run straight on past that, but I don't believe anyone was watching it at the time. Crine just going to open up that hatch. A lot of barricades upstairs as well. I really like this decision-making process from Chaos to try and remodel the map as much as possible and slow Rogue down.
I like that, remodeling it, completely changing the map to try and throw Rogue off the scent. Well, Rogue are going to be coming in for their attack now, and there's some of those drones coming out. You're talking about Leon Gids having a particularly good pre-placed drone, but sending in yet another one. And he's just going to be able to enter straight in. Oh, you gotta shoot him.
Oh, no.
Actually, he's going to get shot in return.
No.
That's really early there. Crine catching him out. And you're talking about the Oryx being able to use the hatches, but his ability to have those roams so effectively is the reason that they bring him. The logic bomb did come out, so, hopefully he won't be too close to anyone where they can hear him, but of course Leon will be able to transfer over that information as to where he got shot from. That's why you see that wide rotation be made. Down goes proximity alarm. as Aces begins to move in and just going to be whipping out his gadget all the time. Well, they know someone's at the bottom of the stairs there. That'll be Renewal.
Good ground taken for Rogue and good map control. Good time management aside from the fact that Leon died. If he didn't die that would have been so good. But now it's really on Chaos to hold as long as they can. Red Groove back to site. Where is the Oryx though? Downstairs in the locker hallway, ready to jump up the hatch if needed for that flank. Currently in an engagement though with the Dokkaebi of Aces. We know how good Aces is on this operator, and Rogue no doubt aware that the Oryx is on the cards. They have to be careful of flanks up through hatches. Now Corey pushing in through Visa. 1 minute left. Nice job there to take out that bulletproof. But can they make progress from here on out? Shate is getting all this information to his team about the progress from Chaos. 50 seconds left. What's Rogue going to do here on this attack?
Well, hopefully not get caught out through the force. The pings come out, but it looked like Sade was going to be able to get it, but not quite. Rip's taking a little bit of damage there, and actually Kajek is going to be taking a lot as Red Group is able to bring him down. Still all 5 members of Chaos remaining here.
Nice shot.
Red Groove falling to Corey. So not quite as good as I was maybe saying, and maybe Ace is going to be able to be picked up here. When the flash, that's going to provide some opportunity, but just 13 seconds remaining, and as soon as Corey begins to drop down, Biden is ready there to catch him out. It doesn't look like there's really going to be any time here. Ace is finishing things off, and a nice C4 kill. The Chaos, they take the round.
That's what you got to be so careful of on this bomb site. Archives tell us it's the C4s. Look at that, Vito. I want to have a look at your MOS files, mate, after that one. Love to see it there from Chaos there on that defensive side. And, well, I think it helped out that the opening engagement fell their way. But on top of that, Rogue kind of played into the strategy, to be honest. Like, firstly, Rogue took some great ground. But for the most part, you'll see teams attacking that bomb site, trying to execute onto the archives rather than the tellers because of how vulnerable you are on the teller's room. That's because it's such a small room and it's all soft floor. So you can be C4'd anywhere in there, and it doesn't really take much guessing to guess where they're going to plant, and usually you've got info for it as well. Such a small area, it's so difficult. So most of the teams attack archives, and they go for a garage take in through lockers, and Rogue didn't really elect to do that. They had some presence there down bottom red stairs, but they didn't really want to focus on that. They decided to go for a bit more of a, in theory, easier take in through Visa, where it's a bit easier to get that ground, but of course you fall into the trap that the defense has set for you. So once again, we are tied up, and Chaos, who have been, in my opinion, grossly underestimated in this league, are holding their own here against Rogue.
I like how they've set up these shields there and in the front desk area. That's going to require some utility from Rogue to remove. But speaking of Rogue, well, it looked like they were going to be bringing along a Finker until they decided to go for that 6 pick, and instead it's going to be a Nook. Not one of those operators that we see a significant amount of the time, and that's going to make it a lot harder for those defenders to be aware of where that player is. And not only that, she also brings those frag grenades, which are all important these days in this current meta, so they're not going to be missing out anything from that perspective. I'm very interested to see how Rogue are going to apply this attack, bringing this operator.
It's safe to say that Aces from Rogue is the most prolific Nick player in the world. In particular, there was an insane 4KO ace he got against G2, I believe it was last season. We definitely want to keep an eye out for what he can accomplish. What are you doing, mate? Just shoot the camera. There you go. Funny there, but we'll see how he can make it happen. Now for the rest of Rogue, focusing on, it seems to be a yellow stairs take, as is on brand for them and on meta for what we've seen so far in this game, in this map rather. Renewals to hold it. One of those Goyo Vulcan shields already taken out, thanks to the breaching round from Ash. A drone to spot out Renewals here. I just want to point out everyone from Chaos seems to be running Suppressor on every primary, and it is just so sexy. I love it.
Well, Renewal's just backing off there as he did get flashed. But actually, wow, all right, that's going to be a frag grenade landing straight at his feet. Thank you, Aces. You get 2 birds with 1 stone there. You get rid of the Vulcan shield and you get rid of the Jaeger from the other team. Fantastic play there, and not one that he was expecting. I really like seeing how his positioning was forced by the flash into the bathroom, and Corey's going to be following things up with that straight onto Red Groove, but he's going to find himself falling off that rappel as Chaos start to get some kills for themselves. Kajeka joining in the fray, and it's a 2 versus 3 with the advantage to Rogue. And following things up, that leaves Shate just on his own. Here's this lonesome Wamai playing, currently going against these attackers, one of which is Rips, who is holding the diffuser. And this puts things quite a difficult position here for Shate, able to bring him down. That means that diffuser is going to be hanging out there. But there's that crossfire that's going to be caught up, and he gets taken down pretty swiftly. Rogue taking another round.
I guess it goes to show the suppressors might bring the swag, but they can't put the dub in the bag. So Rogue, another strong attack there. I really love their positioning. Not only did they get that opening pick there with the nade, the beautiful 2 birds 1 stone nade onto Renewal's top yellow stairs, but the control from Rogue was just perfect. Took all the way up yellow stairs in private. We had Corey repelling on connector window. He found 1 kill, was traded by the run out from Vigil, but obviously that put Chaos really off site there and offside. And Rogue was able to capitalize, take that map control away from them. I honestly have absolutely no idea where Aces came from, but he just appeared in connector as if by magic and managed to storm out the rest of Chaos's defense thanks to that. So we're looking at Rogue once again retaking this lead. It seems to be the pattern that we are continuing here on this map is Rogue gets a leg up, Chaos even it up, Rogue gets a leg up, Chaos evens it up. But we'll see, can Chaos maybe try to do a bit more than that, hopefully. I mean, I'm putting my faith in them, but, you know, you never count out Rogue.
Well, I mean, you have to remember that by the time we finish round 5, Chaos were the ones who were sitting in the lead. So it's not just as if Rogue are consistently inching away and Chaos always having to catch up with them, because it has been the other way around as well. It just so happened that Chaos looked a little bit more strong when they were on the attack, but we're still only 3 rounds in, with this being the 4th of this half. Chaos still definitely have time to prove themselves on the defense. But they're going to have to be aware that, of course, Aces bringing the Nook once again, this time not being a 6 pick, so they should be expecting it. But obviously he was able to find so much power and so much value off of that operator on the last round. There's the garage door getting open, once again, very quick. This is what Rogue were able to do before when they took this site on round 7.
Crying still in that room, Renewals as well, and he finds that opening pick. Man, it feels like Leon is in every single opening engagement, for better or for worse. For the most part, for worse so far. Unfortunately for him, he's gotten the opening kill once and then the opening death 4 times on this map. Chaos continuing to exact chaos on this roam. Crying and Renewals not looking to give up anytime soon. Aces likely to try and get on that roam hunt, get a bit of a flank with that held presence reduction to hide him from the cameras. But Crying is ready for this jump in, and I don't think Ace has droned him out.
No, it certainly doesn't look like it right now. It's just going to be creeping down, though. And there's a lot of this presence here from Chaos downstairs, so they're not going to find themselves in a situation where there's too many people upstairs, they all get cleared out, and suddenly Rogue can start to rush in. But of course, you have to remember, there's Kajek, and actually there's Rips's drone straight in on the site. He's going to be getting all that intel there for Rogue. Chaos going to have to get rid of that if they hope to protect themselves in this situation. Cooking the nade here is Kajeka. Not quite going to get Vito, though, but doesn't matter. He's able to get him with his gun. Rips following up as well onto Red Groove. And suddenly, this defense is looking considerably weakened. Crying, trying to hold on to this angle. He is going to be able to get the shot there onto Kajeka. That cleans up that very key player who we've spoken about a number of times. But Aces isn't going to make it down Spiral. Crying, doing his thing once again. And now it's in a 3 versus 2. Make that a 3 versus 1 with just Corey remaining here for Rogue.
And surely Renewals is just going to wait till he can take this final kill. Corey couple of shots exchanged, but the patience on renewals tends to be a vice, and Virtue, or rather, not a Virtue, a vice, and Corey in a 1v2. Basically impossible here. No way, surely you can't make that happen. That's one kill, but so much info here for Shate.
15 seconds remaining.
Trying to hold this now is Corey. He can deny that information from the camera, but can he clutch it out here? No, it's so difficult with the PRB, but there you go. A bit too close for comfort, but Shate to lock out that one and even it up.
Again, it makes you wonder, you know, if they didn't lose Leon so early, would Rogue have been able to have the advantage in that fight? Would they have been able to apply the aggression much better? They did have a lot of those early kills, and Chaos turned things around. So now things even, 5-5. Whoever takes this next round will have secured themselves the draw, but will they have secured themselves the win? It's so hard to say given how close this game has been, and I think it surprised us so much. You said it before, but go back to the analyst desk at the beginning of the game. They said 7-1, 7-2 to Rogue, and suddenly we've had a game that looks nothing like what we were expecting. So once again, returning back to Teller's archives, Chaos were able to win this site before and no plant was made, but there are a couple of things that have changed. There's going to be the double hard breach being brought out from Rogue here rather than bringing that Nook once again. And on the side of Chaos, you are once again having the Oryx, which they were able to find so much value out of before. They caught, was it Leon that they caught out really early? Yeah,
Leon just repelled straight into CEO and ran through split, but I guess didn't check yellow stairs, and Crime found that. But, you know, for Chaos here, exact same operator lineup, and for the most part, I assume the exact same strategy. Slightly moved the bulletproof from renewals, but overall it seems to be the same for Chaos, and I guess it did work last time. The question for me, and you mentioned the double hard breacher on Rogue, are they going to go for that garage take this time? Are they going to try to take control of lockers instead of just committing to that maybe a bit less reliable visa push? I think it might be the case.
They are heading around to this side, and there's Rips' drone going in. Crime might end up getting caught out here if they know exactly where he is. He's going to try and hold onto that angle and shoot in through the soft part of the door. But instead, deciding it's worth his while. Oh no, actually, he's not going to be making too much of a rotation. Instead, we're seeing the movement be made away there from the members of Rogue. Leon Gids, instead of going down first, he is going to be getting that opening kill. You mentioned how he's always involved in those opening engagements, and that means the castle has been taken off the board. You remember correctly, Renewals had quite a part to play the last time they came to this site, sat at the bottom of the stairs. There's the X-Kairos to open up the hatch. Oh.
Yep, good control from Rogue so far. Oh, one X-Kairos did not manage to stop there. Now, there is one more X-Kairos for Aces. I don't quite know why he only put 3. Yeah. Oh, well, I guess they're not going to use it elsewhere. They got plenty of hard breach to spare, so not a big deal. But for Rogue, it is very much this vertical take from admin. You'll notice Karzeka opening up all of the floor in copy, which goes down into the little antechamber hallway. Not antechamber, but little hallway here that Aces is going to try and open up. Deciding how he wants to play this one. And Crying there on the Oryx to find out. Corey, still not able to contain this roam is Rogue. And while they had that opening engagement, numbers are even now. And the flank tended to come through from Crying at some point. Still off site, still safe. Not playing too early. Rogue looking to take this from the admin side, but it's going to be so difficult to plant here.
It must be incredibly frustrating for Rogue to not know where he is, and actually incredibly frustrating to have Leon drop just like a fly. Red Groove will get refragged by Karzeka, so at least that's something that Rogue have going for them, and now it's a 3 versus 3. They can begin to open up those castle barricades into Tellers. This is a nice angle being held here by Vito. Wow. Okay, Shate. Once again, another refrag there from Rogue. Now down to the 2 versus 2. 37 seconds remaining. And Rogue are still yet to go in and make the plant. Is it safe, though? They have to figure that out for themselves. Crine holding on to this angle here. And they're just going to be using these cameras to figure out where these opponents are. Is Vito going to be able to successfully bring down these members of Rogue and secure the draw for Chaos?
15 seconds to go.
No way is this possible here for Rogue. Rips is going to force down that diffuser. Surely Vito can deny this. No, how is that allowed to go down? But Cryin on the retake and Vito to help as well. That is match point secured here for Chaos of all things. People were saying 7-1, 7-2, but Chaos says, I don't care what you say. I'm going to make sure that we tie this up, and I'm going to go all the way for the W.
Great round there from Chaos, and the fact that Rogue were aware that Cryin was there. I mean, obviously when we saw Rips go over to the garage door and he was put off from that kind of entry because he started to get shot through, decided it wasn't worth it for them, but it also meant that they didn't really know where he was a lot of the time, and they just were very aware that there was this threat hanging over their head. Well, that means now that the best Rogue can do is draw.
Yeah, that's crazy to think. I mean, having a look at the previous results from these teams, right? Chaos is yet to find a win. And yes, they got smacked around by BDS and they drew Tempra. I mean, surely they are here gunning for the full victory. And it is just so difficult against a team like Rogue, but they're making it happen. And in contrast, Rogue coming off a 7-4 against Empire and a 7-1 against Na'Vi. Like, Rogue are looking in top form so far this season. Yes, they didn't quite beat G2, but things have looked so good for them outside of that, and we thought maybe they were back in form and that the first match of the series against G2 was just a blip, but Chaos is proving otherwise. Not only are they proving that maybe we shouldn't have had as much confidence in Rogue, but really we shouldn't be just talking about this like it's Rogue's map to lose. This is absolutely Chaos's map to win. From second last in the Pro League in Europe last season, Chaos have a lot to prove with that roster change, Cryin coming in, and it seems like they might be able to close out this game.
And I think one of the things you have to remember about Chaos is that in spite of the struggles they've had so far in this season, they've always remained really confident in themselves. And a game like this is exactly why we're seeing that. I mean, despite the fact there's been some roster changes, this is still a team that lost to Rogue twice in Pro League Season 11. This is their game to win because they are here to prove that they do have a place in this competition. We're seeing exactly why that is now. So if they take this round, this is going to be the win here against one of the biggest thorns in the most team sides that we have seen so far in the EU League. So Chaos, Lobby, Rogue coming in from the east side for their attack. Renewals is sat here in meeting. You've got Vito very close to him as well. How are they going to be able to deal with this attack?
Aggressive peek out there from Renewals, but no one there to see it other than the drone. And we're looking at Leon, almost once again the victim of that opening engagement, but he gets just out of dodge of that C4. We're looking at Aces to step up here. He's had a quiet game, but we know how impactful he can be. Gonna chuck out a nade. Surely this will get chewed up by an ADS. No, it doesn't, but there's a magnet there to help out. Leon droning out Renewals, but there are 3 players from Chaos up here to contest. There you go, Leon does find that opening kill. We know we need him to show up here for Rogue if they stand a chance at drawing this out, and he does.
Now forceful repositioning there by Rogue onto Chaos. Vito here has to try and hold this angle if anyone is to come up from towards Visa. Just looking to get a shot there onto the balcony windows, doesn't find anything. And this is where we're starting to see Aces make a push on in. Rogue don't want to be too much of in a rush, but Vito's starting to creep on forward. Ooh, okay.
Careful. What is that? The upside down rappel from Leon finds 1 kill. All right, then. I didn't even realize that was the rappel, but all right, nice. Very dangerous spot to rappel, but it looks like Rogue may well be able to even this up, but Vito's got something to say about it. Oh. So close to finding the headshot there onto Leon. He's already taken a bit of damage, but got to reload the AUG now. Just 45 seconds here for Rogue. They have to make sure they've got the top floor cleared so they can execute. We're also going to be looking a lot at Red Groove on site. Now that Vito's been taken out, Leon stepping up huge this round. Red Groove has to hold this now. 2 gas babes remaining. The diffuser is not in hand yet. 30 seconds left for Rogue, and so many players lit up. Cryin, the newest player on the roster, to help out, taking down Leon kids. The Ashes showed up so far for Red Groove. Not missing that smoke. Not quite landing, but there you go to go in. Rips is so low. He needs to get this down. It's all on Red Groove now in a 1 versus 4, but if he can deny this diffuser, it could be everything. But Rogue to hold out here, crushing Chaos's hopes at taking a victory and tying up the map.
They managed to secure that draw for themselves, so they are not entirely out, but Chaos, they're going to be feeling the heartbreak there. They were so close to securing such an impressive win, but I think regardless of the scoreline, it was such an impressive series. Anyway, the fact that they beat the expectations of the analyst desk, and I think it's fair to say they beat the expectations of us as well. But Dev, after all of that, I'm so excited to hear what our analysts have to say, because that game was wild.
All right, well, in a second, we're going to have a chat to the analysts. There you go.